What's up, everyone? We are back with another episode of Pound for Pound. I'm the Nigerian Nightmare, Kamaru Usman.
Henry Cejudo, a.k.a. Triple C.
We are back again and again with the first time repeat offender that we've had on this show. Multiple time boxing world champion, accolades after accolades, and hey, one of the most feared and one of the most avoided men still in the sport of boxing, Mr. David BENAVIDEZ.
Thank you guys for having me on, man. I really
Welcome
appreciate
back.
it. Yeah.
A Shot of Line production. The
Welcome
Mexican
back.
monster.
Yeah, shining on him. Yeah,
Yes, sir.
still looking fly. Yeah, man. Hey, welcome back to the show, my man.
Thank you, man. It's an honor to be back.
Hey, since we spoke to you last time, obviously we were chasing the big whale, the big fish, Canelo. That didn't seem to materialize, but you said, you know what? Screw that. I'm gonna move up in weight class and I'm gonna go fight. And you went out there, you fought, great fight, tough opponent, but you got through it relatively with ease. And then you fought a guy that everyone considered and said, this is he didn't have a ton of fights, but it's the young guy that is the most skilled, and this is a guy that's going to do it, that's going to stop the Mexican monster and stop all the Canelo talk. But you went out there and you still got it done. I mean, let's talk a little bit about that fight and all the buildup for that fight.
Yeah, so this fight, it was really special to me. And, you know, I feel like every fighter, whether it's UFC or boxing, you need that rival that, you know, is going to talk a lot of stuff, you know, sell the fight a lot, and it's really bad blood between them. And when you get fights like that, they just, it was what it was. It was a great fight, back and forth. You know, we were both, you know, gave the people a great fight. But like I said, if I'm not going to get the big fights, Canelo, Bivol, this and that, I'm going the other option, and I want to fight the best fighters, the other best fighters, you know. And then that's exactly what I've seen with David Morrell. You know, David Morrell, he'd been calling me out at 168. He had a belt. He won a belt his third fight, you know, so that means a lot. That really says a lot, you know what I mean? So I looked at that like, you know what? I want to give the people the best fights possible, and this is the hardest fight. I'm in my prime. I believe in myself 100%, so let's go out there and get it. And with that performance, you know, it speaks for itself. You know, it's probably the best performance of my career to this date, and I had a good time, bro. It was a great fight, and now I'm just trying to fight the best fighters in the world.
Yeah, was there anything that really surprised you with David Morrell? Did he have, because I don't know if it was a second, it was one of those rounds where he did catch you, and, you know, you buckle a little bit.
Yeah.
And that says a lot about you, because there's not a lot of guys that, people get buckled and they start backpedaling.
So that was my favorite part about that fight, too. The fourth round, when he buckled me at the end of the round, I think I showed a lot of volumes of who I am, because I got buckled, but I ain't run. I ain't hold. I fought with the man. I hurt him towards the end of the round. And he's like, you know, with these fighters, bro, they're all dangerous. At this level, when you face the top level fighters, they're all dangerous. So I knew, you know what I mean, if I make a mistake, shit like that could happen. You know what I mean? This shit happens in a flash, a blink of an eye. So, you know what I mean? So I think it's funny, because boxers, they always want to have that moment. Me especially. I always want to have that moment like, oh, if I get rocked, how am I going to respond?
Yeah.
And I responded great, you know what I mean? So that was my favorite moment of the fight, even though I didn't really feel like I get hurt. You know, when you get rocked, it's just like flash like that. But I responded good, and, you know, that was my favorite moment of the fight. But, you know, it was a fucking fight.
Yeah, I almost feel like even though he did buckle you, I almost feel like you still won that round, dude.
Yeah,
You still had so much, but fuck, dude. I'm like, damn, David, it's an attitude to be able to do that, man. Because, you know, your body automatically, when you get hurt, like it wants to shut off.
Yeah.
But with you boom, and you came back up, and you still continued pressing.
Also, what it was about that is the stamina and the conditioning. If you get rocked and you're not in good condition, your body's not going to respond. But I'd fucking worked 3.5 months for that training camp. My legs are good. You know what I mean? So, like I said, that was my favorite moment of the fight, because he got me with a good shot. Well, what it was, too, is that sometimes you put yourself in these situations because of mistakes that you make on your own. What I was trying to do, I was working on this move where you kind of like go like this, like you dip and then you throw a right hand, but I didn't move my head out the line the whole way, so it was double force. I go like this and I fucking threw myself into the shot, so he clipped me. But like I said, you're gonna make mistakes. It's just really about how you rebound and how you react after. And I think I passed with flashing colors.
Yeah. Now, speaking about that fight, like you said, it was bad blood, and even in my gym where I train down here in Florida, there was some talks. There was some Cubans in there, saying, "Hey, this is the dude. He's coming for BENAVIDEZ. I know you had him on the show. I know." I'm like, "Yeah, I rock with BENAVIDEZ." He's like, "Hey, this dude's gonna get him." I'm like, relax, So there was a lot of bad blood. You guys both said a lot of things to each other. I mean, just talk a little bit about what was said. I mean, between you guys leading up to that fight.
No, so he was just talking a lot of shit for years and years and years. So then when we confront him about it, it was just like, me as a man, as a fighter who I am, I'm not gonna take that shit from you. I'm not gonna take this shit from nobody. You know what I mean? So when things happen, when we get up close and personal, anything could have happened. But I think the way we did it, it was just perfect. It was a lot of shit talking. Nobody did no stupid shit like try to. Well, he threw his belt at me. Actually, imagine if he would have hit me in the head. The fight would have been over.
Yeah, you don't want to mess with the back. You don't want to mess with the money now.
It ain't that fucking heavy, but yeah.
So I was looking at like, this fucking guy throws his belt at me, but I already knew he was scared, bro. Like, if I'm throwing a belt at you, bro, I know I'm gonna hit you, and that belt weighs a lot. It's gonna fuck you up. You know what I mean? So I already knew that he was kind of looking for a way out. Doing that, but like I said, it was good for TV. Got a lot of views. It was probably like my most heated fight. The lead ups and all that stuff, the build up to all that. So it was great, man. I had a really good time.
Yeah, your fight took place. It was T-Mobile, right?
T-Mobile.
And you guys sold out?
We didn't sell out, but we sold like 18,000 tickets.
Dude, that's a grip, man. Like, and that says a lot, because it's not like the UFC where, the UFC sells the event. But in boxing, it's different because all eyes are on you.
Yeah, and then what the thing about David Morrell was too, it was mostly eyes on me because he had 11 fights. He doesn't really talk that good English, and a lot of he's in the boxing world.
An Olympian, right?
Yeah, in the boxing world, people know him. He's a dog.
Yeah.
But the boxing world is different from like regular shit. A lot of people didn't know him, so that's why I really took the initiative to talk a lot of shit. You know what I mean? And like I said, everybody's gonna have them fights, and you had them fights, and it honestly does a lot for your character, because you just want to shut people up, and that's my whole, like you were saying, Cubans, all the Cubans were saying, oh yeah, Morrell's gonna get David.
I said it.
Talking hella shit. So I was just like, man, not only did I beat him in front of a fucking packed crowd, I got to shut all those people up, and sometimes that's better than anything, just shutting everybody up.
Let's take a quick break to thank our sponsors for this episode, TasteMade. Henry, you know how fight can be, man. Morning workouts, active recovery, PT, evening workout, and no time to meal prep or cook for myself. I mean, I love to eat, but meal planning, probably not my favorite part about camp. Am I right?
For sure, Kamaru. And I've got 2 kids at home who are always hungry. The prep around cooking takes so much time and damn energy. But not anymore, Kamaru Dean, thanks to TasteMade Plus. Woo!
That's right, guys. Henry and I got the hookup with TasteMade Plus personalized meal planner. That means we get step-by-step recipe videos, easy recipe swaps, and auto-generated grocery list based on our meal plans.
We had some blackened salmon with avocado salsa last night, and it was absolutely delicious.
I'm sure, Henry, but I know how much you like glazed meatballs. So, of course, we've got the honey garlic glazed meatball recipe. TasteMade Plus has definitely changed the game in my kitchen. And Henry, it's going to change the game in your kitchen too.
You guys already know Triple C makes one sexy chef. And now you could be a sexy chef too. Try TasteMade Plus completely free for 7 days right now at tastemade.com/P4P. As a listener, you'll get 40% off your first year. Cancel anytime. No pressure.
Now let's get back to the episode. Talk a little bit about, and I grabbed that from you. You said when he threw the belt at me, because there's two ways to it, you know, and I know the two ways. For one, when you said he threw the belt at you, so I already knew he was a little scared of me. He wanted a way out. So you computed that. You took it as that psychologically, and that's an edge.
Yeah.
You know, we see all the greats like Jordan and Kobe and these people, they talk. I've even done it myself. I'll look for some, oh, he said he gonna do that. Okay. And it becomes a little edge for you to
And you just
get
keep
to that
pressing
next
them,
level.
pressing them and pressing
Yeah.
them. That's what I've noticed about these fights, the bigger fights. It's not only about the fight, it's about the psychological. If I get you with something, I see you're scared, I'm going to keep pressing you, I'm going to keep pressing you, I'm going to keep pressing you. And that's going to lead to the fight because I already know you're scared of me outside the ring. So when it translates in the ring, you know what I mean? You're already scared of me. So I take full advantage of that.
Yeah, no, for sure. No, that David Morrell fight was really good. And then you beat him. And then now Turki Al-Sheikh, he invites you over to Saudi Arabia because the winner of that fight, because you are the WBC mandatory. But before we get there, what did you think of that Bivol better? Did the right guy win that night?
To be honest with you, I thought Bivol won the first fight and the second fight. You know what I mean? So it's just like, I don't want to say it, but like, what is it to say that they won't rob him this last fight? What if he wins and then they rob him? You know what I mean? I don't want to say that, but it's just they did that already one time. So they invited me out there and then, you know, just to like try to hype the fight up, this and that. But at the end of the day, bro, it's just like, I want to stay here. I made my market here in the U.S. I would love to go fight in Saudi Arabia or Riyadh. But what does that do for my fans? You know what I mean? Most of my fans are here. A lot of the fans can't pay for a ticket to go out there, rent a hotel. That's at least $10,000, $15,000 trip, at least. Yeah. So here where I made the market out here, you know what I mean? I just want to keep putting these big fights on for my fans. You know what I mean? It seems like they've been enjoying it. And honestly, I think it would be better for us to fight here because they sold, what in the U.S., they had the pay-per-view for $25, right? Yeah. I think they sold like, I don't know how much they sold. I think it was like 65,000. $25 is like $1 million. That's nothing. Yeah. On pay-per-view. So I think the fights, me with him, with all them guys would be better here.
Yeah, no, I get all that. But what did you think of the fight though overall? Like, how would you describe that fight? Like,
oh no, they're hats off to both them guys, bro. Them guys are the best in the world, and I would love to get in the ring to, you know, to really show who I am. But them guys, both those fights are good, bro. Both, but I thought Bivol boxed him beautifully. I thought Bivol used his jab really nice. Both the fights, and I thought it was a really good fight. Both of them.
Yeah. So you would fight either one.
Yeah,
right
bro.
now.
Because at the end of the day, like every good fighter, every champion needs a challenge.
Absolutely.
They need that adversary over there that it might not look like you might beat them, but it's 50-50. That's what hypes me up, and that's what makes me work hard, bro. And that's like at the end of the day, I'm trying to shut people up.
So what's the holdup with getting one of these guys? Because it's not like you're not a name now. You know, you're doing your job.
Yeah.
To get there. So it's not like you're not a name now. What's the holdup still to getting one of these? I mean, okay, maybe Bivol's like, yeah, no, but what's the holdup to getting even better beef?
Bro, I don't want to say that they're scared because I don't think no boxer's scared.
No,
but if you look at the economical point of the fighters, if Canelo fight me today, it'd probably be the biggest fight in his career. My career too. I'm not gonna sit up here and be like, oh, Canelo needs this. No. But if we fight, bro, that's, I don't know how much pay-per-views I'll sell. So if Canelo would choose to fight me, that would be the biggest paycheck he makes in his career, right? He looked at that. If I'm such a bad fighter that he could come beat me, then I'm nothing. Why wouldn't you just come beat me, shut me up, get the respect from the people, and make a big fucking paycheck? Also with Bivol, they offered him $8 million. I don't know how true I know that they offered him $8 million. I don't know how true it is about how much that he got paid, but they said it was $2.7 million.
Against better
for his last fight, and they offered.
You gotta imagine it's bigger than that.
Nobody's came out and said anything. No, that's not true.
2.5. I mean,
no, but
before that, but like, you gotta look at this too. Like, Bivol is not really a household name like that. Beterbiev is not a household name like that. They're fucking amazing fighters.
Right.
They don't really sell that much.
Yeah, they don't carry that weight like you.
They don't really sell that much. You know what I mean? So, in the sense where this So I come back to this point all the time too, bro. If you can fucking beat me, come shut me up and make a big fucking bag. What's the problem?
I think in because I think we did even ask Canelo about this. I think as far as Canelo is concerned, and I think I've said this to you, is as far as he's concerned, it's not that he's not giving you the respect.
Yeah.
He says, no, he's a good fighter. You know, he's big, strong. But to him, like I told you, you're not the easiest guy. You're not the first guy I'm going to look at the list and say, yeah, give me that guy. You know, if they had to pick.
But how long does the list have to go to until you say I want a good fight for my people?
That's true, but we also know Canelo's been in a lot of fights. Canelo's had a couple of injuries.
So
do I want to take on not just a hungry, this dude is not just a lion, but is a Mexican monster. Do I want to take on that? So
look, you guys in the UFC, right? If you guys are champion, or when you guys were champions, right, when you look at the list, like, I'm gonna just take the easiest off the top. And if they ask me about the hardest fight that the dude's talking a lot of shit, I'd be like, no, he's talking too much shit. I'm not gonna give him money. Bro, what would Dana White say in the UFC? Like, what the fuck what are you talking about?
Exactly. Which leads you're absolutely right. And that's what boxing has turned into. Yeah. To where with all the separations, the different governing bodies, to where it's turned into.
Yeah.
But fast forward to the landscape of where we are now. You hear the news. Turki Al-Sheikh partnering up with TKO and Dana White to make a new boxing, basically affiliation league. How do you feel about that?
I feel like, honestly, whatever, if you pour more money into boxing, for me, it's good for all the other boxers. You know what I mean? I feel like that TKO is gonna take a while for it to really get off the ground, because they need to sign fighters. It's gonna take at least 5-10 years, in my opinion.
But if they also start TKO, don't they get rid of all the managers too and all the agents?
They don't get rid of the managers.
I don't know.
You get rid of the.
But that's what I'm saying, bro. Boxing is a dirty game, bro. They're not gonna like that. A lot of the managers and the promoters, they're not gonna like that. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's good for other boxers because they get opportunities now. There's DAZN, Top Rank, PBC, now TKO. So it's good, bro. It's good. It's good for all the boxers, bro. Honestly, the more money you put into boxing, the more attention boxing gets. It's better for the next generations.
Has there been
but the model and the pay. Did you get a chance?
I seen that. I did see that. I don't like that it's fixed already like that, because me where I'm at in my career, I've negotiated, not me but my dad and my lawyer. We've negotiated each fight. The purse goes up. It goes up. It goes up. If it's at a fixed rate, you can't negotiate.
Yeah. Well, I think that is just kind of like thrown out there, like a landscape, like, hey, this is what we're gonna do, because it's impossible to say this is a fixed rate before you sign David Benavidez. You can't say, yo, David, you're at the tier of making $650,000 a fight. 600 what?
Yeah, exactly.
So I think that's just an outline. So at least people kind of get an idea, or this. Even the UFC is not run that way.
Well, if you're saying it in that sense, then it's good. So the fighters get excited when they see that number. So I mean, I think that's a good point too, because honestly, if you're like a Sean O'Malley, if you're like a Kamaru, Usman, Henry Cejudo, you can negotiate your purses. It's not fixed. So I mean, I understand that. Yeah,
Have they reached out? Has anyone reached out to you?
No.
So how was that? How was going over there with Turkey and those guys in Riyadh?
It was great. They treated me with a lot of respect. When I went out there, I was hyped because I seen Usyk. Usyk is one of my favorite fighters. I seen him, and I have nothing bad to say about them. Turkey Al-Sheikh treated me great. He treated my whole family great. But the thing about Turkey is that he kept telling me that he wanted me to fight in June in Alcatraz, and I'm like, really. In Alcatraz, the jail. Like, I'm not really trying to do that. The thing I like about you already getting the bad energy in the fucking fight.
You ain't trying to go back.
No,
So the thing I like about Turkey, like he's being really innovative, but also what takes away from the sport is if you're having the fights at a certain place, Alcatraz, Times Square, you're taking away the fans to go see. Who's gonna go?
But they're tuning in for that. I mean, if it's just if let's say it's just a couple of people there, maybe like 50 to 100 people there, but it's like a fight, real fight. And that's what I feel like that, by you saying that, I feel like in his head, he had a vision like, oh man, that would be cool to see. Because you see the movie promos that he shoots for these fights that he has over there. So I'm thinking, I'm tuning in. David Benavidez fight at Alcatraz, there's no tickets. You just got to watch it online. You're not tuning in? I'm fucking watching
it's
that.
Innovative. I'll watch it definitely, but I'm saying for me as a fighter, bro, I don't want to fight no Alcatraz.
Okay, so you prefer the T-Mobile full arena.
Bro, there's just something about the fights is when
he's spoiled now, dude.
The fight week, bro. There's just the fight week. You see the fans. Fans are riled up. You're going to the fight. You see all the fans. People going crazy. You come out. You do the ring walk. People are going crazy. There's nothing like that, bro. It's this shit. There's not a feeling I could compare to that. I honestly now I enjoy that. I go out. I would do the ring walk, and I enjoy it, bro. How much times has it been in your head? Oh, I'm gonna come out with this song, and you play out the whole ring walk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's something special.
Right.
You see, you
dancing in your head, but when the moment comes, you don't dance.
Dun, dun, dun. Come on, Kush.
That does not even compare. That's not even what I come out to or how I come out. But no, so I mean, you fully embodied, because you're a showman now. You fully embodied, being the marquee fighter that the event is built around.
Yeah, I see myself as an old day warrior, bro. Like a modern day warrior. Like if I'd fight at the Coliseum, I don't know if you guys feel like that, but I feel like that for myself. Like I'm a warrior. I don't give a fuck. This is what I was meant to do. So I like feeling the energy from the crowd. Like I said, bro, there's nothing like it. There's really nothing like it. When you feel the energy, you fucking hit somebody a big shot. Everybody goes crazy. You knock somebody, and then you get up, you get on the ring. You know what I mean? You get on the side, and you feel like the man. You know, there's nothing like that.
Okay, so right now, man, obviously you were the mandatory for Bivol. He was just officially stripped by the WBC. Is there beef going on with the WBC in Turkey now? Like I'm kind of getting those mixed fucking. It doesn't seem like they're kind of.
That's what I'm saying. When you come into boxing and you try to fuck up shit that's already been set for years and years, it's gonna start some shit. And I don't really want to speak too much on that, but I don't know. I mean, it kind of looks like if what you're seeing is what I'm seeing too, so there might be some problems. But with Bivol, I'm gonna be 100% honest with this. I'm not happy with getting the world title like that. To be honest with you, I'd rather win it.
Yeah.
But the belt is a belt. You know, I was in line for 3 years, bro. For Canelo, I was in line for 3 years. Now with these guys, it's been like a year. So, I mean, I guess I deserve it, but I'd rather go and win it. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, that's more negotiating power when you have a title, world title. So I'm not gonna be mad about it. But like as the type of person that I am, I'd rather go win that shit.
Right.
Two division world champion.
Yeah, it's of course that's because he's stripped. Now the title's vacant, and you fight for you have the title. There's still an asterisk there, like, oh, he didn't beat the champ. Who's the, it's the same thing with the UFC when in my weight class when George St. Pierre decided to retire, and then the next champion was there. It was like, there was this huge glooming idea that you're not really the champ. You didn't take the belt from the guy. So as fighters, we want that opportunity to be able to get that off you. And plus, like you're a showman now. I want because that's a big fight. I want the ring walks. I want all of that. I want the paycheck too that comes with that. As well as the belt. So sometimes I think like some fighters don't truly understand that. But that goes with the game because we're all selfish. Yeah. And so he's doing what he thinks is for him that he needs to do.
And at the end of the day, it's just patience. You really just have to be patient. Like, I've been in line to fight the best fighters in the world, like, for myself, not for nobody else, to prove to myself. My mission here is to prove that I'm the baddest man in the world. And that's what I'm trying to prove to myself. But every time, like, I get to number one, I'm the number one ranked to fight, there's always a fucking excuse. I got to wait 3 years. And now this time, where Bivol won both fights clearly. I feel like he won both fights clearly. He could have fought me, and if he thinks he could beat me, and then go fight better Beef again.
So what's the excuse now of him not fighting?
I don't know. I don't even want to say excuses. That's because people just been talking a lot of shit. But it's just he wants to fight better Beef again, which is honorable. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna take
time.
But that's what I'm saying. That he could have. He could have fought
But
me.
what's gonna change in the way the fight looks?
None really, because the type of fighter that Dimitri Bivol, his fighting style when he fought Better Beef, that's a perfect game plan. Yeah. It's a perfect game plan. Lateral movement, jabs, 1, 2, 3s. This was a perfect fight, beautiful fight. So it's gonna be the same thing.
There's an IQ there. Yeah, there's an IQ to them, and I don't know if Better Beef could really, because he's very square,
and he does a lot of weights and shit like that.
So it's gonna take away that mobility unless he just turns it into a fight and stalks the shit out of him.
Yeah, but he tried to do that the first 2 times.
Yeah. So in your personal opinion, I know how I feel. Which is more of a fight to you as a warrior, as the Mexican monster? Which one is more of the fight? Because of course I know the bigger one. Obviously, you want to fight the champion. The champion is the bigger fight.
Yeah.
But which one would you prefer as a warrior? Which fight do you think?
Honestly, bro, I think both of them guys. I know Dimitri Bivol more than Better Beef. But I think Dimitri Bivol just put the game plan out how to beat Better Beef. But both of them, I have to be at the top of my game. Training camp has to be the hardest training camp I've ever been through to win those fights. Both of them. Either one of those dudes, bro, they're both talented. I think a more of a, how do I say it? A more like a barn burner fight would be me and Better Beef. Right. You know what I mean?
I like those. But I like to see those.
Honestly, when you get with fights like that with people that got a lot of power, you got to use movement. You know what I mean? So I think that would show a different game, a different aspect in my game. But I'm 100% confident I beat both those guys. It's not going to be easy at all, but this is what we're here for.
You think you go up to 175 pounds, you become champion. Do you think you entice Canelo, or do you still think Canelo will not fight you? Because I personally feel like you beat Bivol. There's a storylines there.
Yeah.
Oh, he's not just a cool fighter. Like, this dude beat the dude that beat you.
And then everybody else, all the people talk like, oh, he beat the guy that beat Canelo. So that's what I was trying. That was my play. But honestly, I don't know about Canelo. I'm tired of talking about Canelo. I don't think he's ever going to give me an opportunity. He's never going to give me the fight.
I don't think so either, unless Bivol gives you an opportunity to scrap him, beats him, and then you become the
and
great
then there's
Mexican.
just inevitable.
Right,
it's
so
inevitable.
let me play the devil's advocate here, because I hear what you're saying, Henry. But if I'm already if I'm a aging champion and not to take it in their way, he's still one of the greatest to do it.
He's not that old, come on.
And he's got a lot of fights, body wise, miles, and boxing wise.
I don't really mean nothing. The first 40 fights were in Mexico.
And I just lost to this one guy, and I'm saying this guy's too big for me, and then he goes and beats that guy that I lost to. You think that's gonna entice me to want to take that fight?
Fuck no. You know what's funny
if
too?
If he's a real competitor, fuck yeah.
If he's a real, so
you know what's funny too?
Yeah.
I seen Eddie Reynoso on my fight, so we made a joke. He said like he came to watch me the fight and shit. And then they're like, oh, you think he's in my head? I'm like, what do you think Eddie Reynoso's thinking about? He's like, are we gonna fight David Benavidez after seeing this fight? In his head, Eddie Reynoso's like, fuck no, we not fighting him.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, honestly, I don't blame Canelo. It's fucked up because there's a lot of money.
It's not even about the money. It's not about the money.
Yeah, but okay,
100 million, dude. You kidding
me?
The first step when you're a fucking warrior, bro, the only thing you think about is glory. I've never thought about money. I've been smart. I'm negotiating my shit. But it's always a prize, bro. It's always, if I go out there and beat Canelo, bro, I'm a legend. You know what I mean? That I'm gonna live forever in boxing as a legend. That means way more to me than any type of money.
Yeah, and I think that separates you too, David. And I admire that shit about you. I was like that at one point.
Yeah.
How much you giving me?
Yeah.
and not to just bypass him. Shout out to Morrell as well.
Yeah, shout out to
Morrell.
To
respected. That motherfucker came in. He lost, but he fought.
Yeah, and then insert Morrell in that conversation. How do you think he does with?
I think he beats everybody. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, bro, I'm looking at this guy. He's pretty good. I have to fucking take this dude out immediately. So that's what I want to go did. But honestly, I think he beats everybody in the weight class. I think he beats everybody.
Okay, so obviously, recently we had a banging fight. You had Tank, who arguably face of boxing.
Oh yeah, I'm glad you're bringing this
Tank
up, dude.
fight Lamont Roach.
Dude.
And good fight. I watched the fight. It was a good fight. I think it got off with a slow start, but you know, then they realized I need to scrap a little bit. How did you see that fight? How do you agree with the decision or I mean,
honestly, I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. If Tank did that, so I know the shit got in his eye, but they should have counted it.
Yeah.
They would have counted it. It would have went to Lamont Roach. Lamont Roach came prepared. What I didn't like about Tank is that he was gassing up Lamont Roach way too much, giving him way too much respect, and he was already talking about like retiring and stuff. Once you hear people say retiring, like, oh, I'm about to retire, like I'm just gonna get this money, and I'm not nobody to speak on what Gervonta Davis goes through, but what I see from the outside, that wasn't the same Gervonta Davis we're really used to seeing.
he seemed a little distracted, didn't he, in the fight? To me,
Yeah,
he seemed distracted.
honestly, when I said Gervonta, he's a fucking beast, bro. So I was just waiting for that. But there's also two things that go to that fight too. They fought a lot in the amateurs.
Exactly.
So maybe it's just
Right.
that guy that has your card. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that probably could have been a big role to it, a big thing. But then also, I didn't like how he kept saying that he wanted to retire, that he's just trying to get the money. So when you hear fighters say that, then
I think
started to decline a
Gervonta
little.
Davis could be done, but it just lets you know how corrupt like these governing bodies are, bro. If that dude took a knee, not only did he take a knee, he's like, hold on real quick. Let me get this out of my eye. And how is that not a fucking point? Like, there's a lawsuit there, bro. Like, if Lamont Roach had a real fucking lawyer that knew his shit, fucking dude. It's unfortunate.
And I don't think Gervonta's gonna fight him again.
No, I think now he's like, I don't want to deal with this.
But you know, funny thing, bro. That's why I cut my braids off. I had braids, and I had the same thing. I went through the same shit when I fought Andre. That shit was burning my fucking eyes, so I cut that shit off. So he's not lying about that. That shit burns.
Yeah.
That shit burns.
Okay. So even with that, for me, I wasn't upset with the decision because it was a draw. I wasn't upset with the decision. I felt like both guys could have gave a little bit more, and I felt like even Gervonta Davis knew that he could have given more. But like you said, I think they fought so much when they were young, and it's just, you know who it is. It's that one guy that's in your bracket to where you're like, oh, damn, this tournament, this tournament again. I got to face this guy. And I kind of felt that from him because, but that's, as warriors, we know like someone has to earn your respect.
Yeah.
If he's earned it even when we were 10, 11, 12, that respect is there, especially for what we do.
Yeah.
It's always there.
Yeah.
So I feel like he was giving him that respect because he knows, like, and then you got to try to find things to sell. Oh, it's Baltimore versus DC and all of that. But in the fight itself, he looked distracted, and we all know Tank is a beast. And there was flashes in the fight where he would bring, Tank out, but he seemed a little distracted to me, to where. At the same time, I feel like this whole talk of retirement is maybe a ploy to just negotiation tactics.
Yeah, but you know what that is though too, Kamaru? It's fucking ego. Like nobody
we need that.
No, I know, but there's, remember we're talking, but there's good ego, then there's maybe it's pride. Everybody wants to leave the Floyd Mayweather route. They want to leave fucking undefeated, and that's hurting the sport of boxing. And that's like, you're not going to become a legend like that. It's the same reason why I feel like Floyd Mayweather is not the greatest of all time. Greatest defense boxer of all time, 100%. The guys who have taken more chances with losses, to me, who have the accolades are the best. And I go back and I talk about Manny Pacquiao, 8 division world champ. Like, who the fuck has ever done that? Like, all the way from 112 to 154. Is that what it was? Like, so to get back to Gervonta Davis, is I also feel like he's there's a love-hate relationship with the game, and he doesn't know how to kind of deal with that pressure. It's like, what if I lose?
Or maybe he's burnt out.
Yeah, I mean,
bro, a lot of us. I've been boxing for 26 years. That dude, I don't know how long he's been boxing, but the thing about this different about other certain fighters when they're like,
you're 29.
When they're at 28. When they're like really deep in the amateur game, right. Bro, dudes have like 200 fights. My brother used to fight every weekend. I thank God I didn't fight amateur like that, but I feel like that shit, it's a big part of getting burnt out. Because, bro, imagine, bro, you're fighting the top competition from 7 years old all the way to 18, and then you get in this fucking this professional game. And Gervonta Davis, he's made a lot of money, so that plays a key factor in it too. But like I said, I'm nobody to talk about Gervonta Davis and how maybe he just took it easy. Maybe that's the thing about.
But how much money will he leave on the table if he does retire now?
A lot.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, if I was a boxer, like, I would have never had fucking retired.
Yeah.
MMA, like you said, we're talking about the fixed rate. It's like, fuck, all right, man, I just made this much money from COVID. I'm never going to make that shit again because I'm on that fixed rate plan.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, all right, man, it's time to start business.
Yeah. And the taxes and shit, the taxes be fucking you over a lot.
So, I mean, we kind of know the landscape of things with Canelo, Bivol, and Beterbiev. They're basically trying to figure this thing out. And you just got through, I mean, you came off the best performance of your career. What's next now? Who do you have your sights set on? And what do you think is going to ultimately materialize?
So right now, we're thinking about either Callum Smith or Anthony Yard. Obviously, those are the two top guys in that division. More likely,
Callum Smith fought Canelo, correct?
Yeah, he fought Canelo,
right.
And then he fought when we were at the Beterbiev card. He won a WBO interim title.
Right.
So then, that's what we're thinking about making that fight happen here in the U.S. And then that's also gonna put me one step closer to fight these guys because I have the WBA interim. I'm the world champion at WBC, and then after I beat Callum Smith, I'll have the WBO. So then, if I'm
so you'll be mandatory. You'll be mandatories again
by three associations: WBA, WBC, and WBO. So then, if they don't fight me after that, then there's not really much to say. You know what I mean? I don't want to say people are ducking me, but at the end of the day, if you're getting the most you ever made of your whole career, and supposedly I'm an easy fighter you could come beat, then why are you doing it?
Yeah, but you know what, David? Fucking a spade's a spade, bro. They're ducking you. You're being ducked. You're being avoided because you're dangerous, because you're good.
Yeah.
Right? But now Canelo is going the route where he's fighting, and we had Terrence Crawford on our show. I don't know if you saw that podcast. Yeah. It was banger, bro. We had a chance to see a lot of the insight from Terrence Crawford. And we had mentioned, he's like, hey man, what do you think of David Benavidez? And his son was like, oh shit. It's kind of like that. It just puts things into perspective.
Yeah.
The dude's big. The dude's fast. The dude's strong. The dude's, he's complimenting. He's like, nah, man, I don't want to fight that.
There's a lot of things I could do, and a lot of things that people don't give me credit for. Especially my defense this last fight, really good.
Yeah.
But I've always been good at my defense, always, this whole time. Defense, offense, I could do everything. So when I see people, they don't want to take fights. I mean, I understand, but at the end of the day, are you not the best? Why the fuck you keep saying you're the best? If you're not gonna fight everybody that claims that they're the best and they're in your same weight class, and it's actually ranked, I don't know what else to say.
Could Terrence Crawford, does he have an opportunity to beat Canelo Alvarez?
I think if anybody has a opportunity, has a chance to beat Canelo, I think it's Terrence Crawford. His IQ is on another level. He's a great fighter, and he's strong. It's just that it's a lot of weight, you know what I mean? And he didn't have a hard time at 154, but he wasn't like, you know what I mean? The other guy was getting him with some good punches, you know what I mean? So he felt the power at 154. So imagine you go up to 160, 160. Madrimov is a good fighter. And then, you're fighting a strong fighter like Canelo. So, I feel like it's like I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if Terrence Crawford wins, but I wouldn't be surprised if he loses either.
Yeah, if Canelo, because more likely, if Canelo does win, more likely Canelo's a finisher, bro.
Yeah.
Will he finish a guy like Terrence Crawford? And will Terrence Crawford, that could...
That's how you see what type of dog they are. You know what I mean? I think Terrence Crawford, when he went up against the best opposition, like Errol Spence, he showed what fucking level he's on, what type of dog he is. So it's just, I don't know. You really have to let these fights play out to see what happens. You know what I mean? He might get hurt. That shit might activate him to, come back strong. Or I don't know, or he might, I don't know. I don't know. We got to sit and see.
Could you still make 68?
I don't want to make 68.
No, I know you don't. I know you don't. But could you? Make 68? Let's say for whatever reason, Terrence wins 68.
Yeah. Well, if that's fuck yeah, I can make 168. It's all in the dieting. I don't enjoy it, but I can make 168. But that would be cool.
All right. Before we let you go, quick question: what happens first? Crawford Alvarez or Benavidez Alvarez?
I think Berlanga versus Alvarez too might happen before.
Shit, damn.
Well, David, I mean, it's been great catching up with you. And obviously, there's a lot happening in boxing, a lot shifting around. You're proving it each and every time you go out there and you're doing your thing and you're showing the world that, hey, I'm not only talking the big game, I am that dangerous. So come see me. And everyone's still at the edge of their seats waiting to see what happens. You know, fingers crossed. I know I want to see it. Even if it's in Alcatraz, I definitely want to see it. You know?
Actually sounds kind of cool, but I see what you're saying.
It's
dude.
cool, but
I wrestled in Times Square a long time ago, so
it's like, but it'd be like fighting in COVID. You know, when I fought the bubble,
Right.
fucking blue.
There's nobody in the crowd knowing that.
Well, this is the thing is, I do think he has an idea in his head as far as how to make it theatrical, how to make it nice. But of course, when you're in love with that, just the showmanship and everything, it's hard to get away from.
It's a part of the game.
Yeah. But my man, thank you for joining us once again. You know, not just a phenomenal champion, but you know, a great dude. And,
Thank you.
You know, and I enjoy rooting for you, and especially when you know the Cubans in my gym, Dieter, say yeah, they gonna get Benavidez.
They ain't gonna get shit.
Yeah, congratulations once again. Thanks for joining us. As always, I am the Nigerian Nightmare, Kamaru Usman,
Henry Cejudo, aka Triple C,
and we are out.